Hello people, I hope you're all well. One of the few female friends of mine has told me that it's all good and fun to have those beliefs, referring of course to my MGTOW beliefs, but I needed to let go so that I'm able to feel a bit and live a little. I'm sure you get this kind of thing all the time. I get it a lot as well, especially because they see my future going to waste. And by my future, I mean the accumulation of my wealth. And that's the future that I want to elaborate on, to be fair. I think that the advice from my friend comes from a good place. I have heard a couple of MGTOW saying that your family or your friends, when they say things like this, they want your destruction and your enslavement. And you should not listen to them. I'm proposing the exact opposite of that. I'm proposing that you listen to them and listen to their concerns and serve them with an answer that is deserving to their concerns. I understand why your family is worried. Because like you, they have been brought up under the same illusion. That illusion that tells them that you need to get married, or at least have a family. Otherwise, you're not going to be happy. Or to actually be a lot more truthful about it, you need to get married, otherwise your parents won't be happy. After all, if your family makes you miserable and puts pressure on you about getting married, then by extent some happiness may be attained by doing exactly what they're telling you, because you will save yourself from all the nagging. What they are not too honest about is how miserable your parents have made each other. I propose you look at pictures without children and just the two of them. If you have trouble finding some, it's because that's how much they make each other miserable. Look at how they are now and how they were before they got married, and you will see the bitter truth about marriage. The truth is, marriage is good initially, not as good as sex, during the initial stages of the relationship. But then it gets boring, it gets repetitive. Then children spice things up. Then children leave. And then you just have each other. The same old boring husband and the same old boring wife. They need to spice things up once more. What's better than grandchildren? And that's where you come in. They can't see the misery that they might oppose on you. After all the humans are selfish animals. Why do you expect any better from your family? With regards to my friend, I can tell you what she was telling me. She was saying with a genuine concern, because she found love and she's happy with herself. Now, don't get me wrong, but this friend of mine is dating this guy who is buying everything for her and doing everything for her and treating her like more than a princess. Her main complaint is that she's treating her too much like a princess and she wants him to start acting like a man and treat her like she deserves to be treated, which I guess explains her attraction towards me. And throughout the mere couple of years that I have known her, the attraction keeps growing. Anyway, that's a completely separate issue. But I really think that she wants me to find someone out of concern because she thinks in her mind that if I was to find someone, that I will also be treated as a princess myself. She thinks that the treatment she gets from her boyfriend is the treatment that I would get if I was involved in a relationship with a girl. And the problem is that she has never been in a relationship with a girl to know. And in addition, she's under the assumption that I would treat the girl with me in the same way that he's treating her. The only thing that he's doing is leaving her with unlimited freedom to do whatever she pleases, which usually entails rubbing on me for attention and telling me rather than him all the stuff that she wants him to know. When you tell her that you would rather drink acid rather than end up in a similar situation like that guy, while your hand is halfway between her thigh and her clit, then she's wondering why I may not be respecting her. The problem, my dear friends, is women do not see the double standards in the way that they act. And the reason they don't is because they don't want to see them. Because if they did, they would see themselves as the two-faced bitches they occasionally can be. And I used occasionally here to not sound too sexist. And no matter how hard you try to point to her the double standards that she's living with without uttering those words, she just doesn't get it. In addition, even if I was awesome, the definition of awesomeness, which I usually am in my relationships, and the woman does not stray away, she does it because she's 10 times more scared of losing me than I am of losing her. It's a relationship controlled partly by fear rather than rational thinking, which is too much effort. As animals go, the female is not like a dog, it's more like a cat, and a tiger one at that. She will not be trained, and even when you think she has been trained, she will turn around and bite you when you least expect it. So why go through all this trouble for nothing? Why do I even listen to them when they tell me that they're different? Because my fellow MGTOWs, I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry that they need to lie to themselves in order to be able to live with themselves. And they're so scared of the truth that if they end up accepting it and facing it, they would not be able to exist. You think a woman that wants to stay with a guy who honestly wants that commitment can ever admit to herself what she's doing with other guys? Can she honestly admit that she's looking for something better? She can't she? Because if she does, she will have to admit to herself that she's acting like a slut. And yes, women use that word a lot more than men do. To judge their friends, to judge actresses, and generally judge other women. But they will never turn that word on themselves. That's blasphemy towards the vagina god. So I guess an answer along the lines, I will never, ever, ever, ever be in a long-term committed relationship, because unlike every other man out there, I've got some self-respect. Because I feel no obligation to serve any woman that offers me a vagina in exchange for my time, effort, and money. Because I believe in equality and not subjugation. Because I will never feel okay with myself once I realize that I built my own prison. Because for the past 2 years that I have had no woman attached to me have been the most relaxed years of my life, even though I have seen people come in and die in front of me day and day again. That's why I will never serve the vagina god. That's why I will never exchange my happiness for a woman's. Maybe then she will get it. Maybe then she will understand. But most likely she won't, because it will cause a rift within her logic. But you know what? Maybe if I say it, a friend will hear it. A man sitting nearby can overhear it. And maybe something will click in his head. Maybe something will tell him enough is enough. Maybe that's why I'm still wasting my breath on these females. Because I know it's never going to register. But maybe for that man, it might. This was Nico Chosky, talking about all things man. Please subscribe to my channel for more updates.